Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is David Schlotthauer here, and welcome back to another detailed weather forecast for April the 23rd, 2023. In this video, we are still monitoring the threat for heavy rainfall, some severe weather for Oklahoma, for Texas, for the Deep South, and eventually possibly for the mid-Atlantic coast as another weather disturbance develops. So to start off, here's a look at the latest European model for April the 24th. This is, by the way, this afternoon, and we can see right on the bottom right side of your screen, there is a strong MCS moving right off the coast of Texas. That's what the European model indicates quite well and has been forecasting that over the last few days. But on the side note, the weather pattern pretty quiet for right now, with dry weather across much of the Midwest and also for the Great Lakes. And speaking of dry weather, I wanted to intervene something very quickly. There has been a very big solar storm that has impacted or will impact Earth tonight. So anyone that lives across the northern tier of the United States, including central and northern California and the Northeast, you might have a rare opportunity of seeing the northern lights, the aurora borealis, because of that solar storm. We're looking at a G4 to G5 class geomagnetic storm, including the risk for a KP8 and KP9 storm event for the northern latitudes here, or the high and mid latitudes. So yeah, maybe some rare aurora viewing tonight for portions that don't see that often. And so weather permitting will be important here with dry skies for the northern tier. So hopefully, fingers crossed, skies stay clear for those people that are excited and hoping to see the aurora borealis. But in areas where you might see snow and some showers, you're going to have clouds, and that might obscure things a little bit, but maybe some glow could get through some of the cloud cover, and you might get that hulky looking sky, a milky green we call it, into the overnight hours. So you can see here some showers, maybe some snow for the northern Rockies, for the desert southwest, part of a little weather disturbance that again is going to be ejecting into the high plains for Monday night into Tuesday. We got some showers and some gusty winds that may be anticipated over the Great Lakes, but otherwise, again, really good weather pattern here. Not really very significantly busy in the short term. That changes, though, by the time we go into Tuesday into Wednesday, where we do have more intense rainfall, maybe some severe weather here. The National or the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a slight risk for severe weather here for central and northeastern Texas, and this is non-SIG for severe weather probabilities, but just letting you all know, it might get a little rough Tuesday into Wednesday with maybe the risk for tornadoes, maybe some gusty winds, and maybe some large hailstones anticipated, with some rare mountain snowfall for the Rockies this late in the season. All right, going forward in time here, you can see that system really kind of stretches apart here. Not looking as big of a deal as what we first thought, but still, we're looking at maybe some flooding, severe weather that continues for the Deep South and also for the southeastern states. And then another weather system tries to drop down, and this is going to bring more significant weather concerns maybe for the Northeast towards the end of the 7 to 10 day forecast, as we can see here. This system really gets better organized, more moderate to heavy rainfall by Thursday and Friday for Georgia, for the Carolinas, for Tennessee, for Kentucky, for northern Florida, for Alabama, that sort of thing. And then, of course, we have this trough that digs down, and that's going to kind of collide here. And you can see that collision really take place. This surface low tries to wrap all the way around as this surface low down here in the Midwest tries to circulate around the parent low, and you can see how this all evolves. But again, that's about 7 to 8 days out, so that's pretty far out. The last day of April, so we're looking pretty far out in time on the European model, and that's why I'm not going very much further out than this. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, all right? We're talking about other YouTube channels that probably already saying this is going to be a blockbuster rare nor'easter for early May. I am not putting any bets on it right now because the 0Z run had it a little weaker, and the 12Z run didn't even have it there yesterday. So again, there's a lot of uncertainty in the model guidance in that regard. That may be something towards the very end of April, but otherwise right now in the short term, relatively speaking, in the next 5 days, we're really looking at a generally quiet weather pattern. So we can see here on the jet stream, there is our disturbance that drops down into the four corners on Tuesday. That's going to lead again to some of the forcing out ahead of this. So again, that's why that system tries to develop. And then by the time we go into Thursday and Friday, that system, that disturbance, that weak trough shortwave is going to be ejecting into the southeastern U.S. And then another trough here out of the northern plains gets going. And this is going to become the focus. Where does this set up and how does this exactly shape up on the models? This is very sharp, as we can see here. We got a strongly negatively tilted trough, so some pretty good dynamics on the right front quadrant of that, with a lot of baroclinic deepening and baroclinic ascent, but again, very far out to make a forecast, and I'm not putting a lot of bets on this right now as far as the jet stream forecast goes. So now to those temperatures. Yeah, it's going to be hot for some locations. That's why, if you notice, I'm sweating in the studio. That's because it is warm today. It is in the 80s here. I am not ready for it, honestly. I would like to keep the 70s a little longer. We're already going into the 80s, and possibly some low 90s by the middle of this week. So I'm not ready for it. It's too early. I would hope to see 70s at least until mid-May. Then I can get the heat going, but not right now. It's a little too early. For some of you in Florida, it's not too early. You've been really warm lately, and it's going to remain that way. The desert Southwest, you're going to have temperatures in the 80s today. That's what you're observing. And then temperatures are going to remain that way also tomorrow, really warming up nicely. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, if you're in Palm Springs, hot temperatures, some upper 80s to mid 90s out there. Temperatures come down quite a bit for the deep south there, with temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s, even some upper 70s in Florida. So not too bad when you think about it. So a cooling trend is going to commence, and that's going to continue. But look at this. By the time we go into Tuesday, warmer temperatures rebuild in Florida and also for Texas and the desert Southwest, and more so by the time we go all the way into, say, Wednesday, where it really gets warm. Look at this for California. Might introduce some upper 90s in some locations, including for southern Texas. But look at this. Some isolated spots could see temperatures still in the 30s and 40s during the day to end April. Look at this for the upper Midwest, for the Northeast, temperatures in the 50s and 40s during the day. Versus what you've been dealing with, temperatures in the 80s and 90s. So a nice, good turnaround flavor with those daytime high temperatures that are anticipated. Well, that is going to sum it up for today's video, folks. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing this video with your family and friends on social media. And most importantly, please leave a comment in the section below. The more comments I get, I'm able to respond to those, and I want to know how you all like my weather videos that I have made in the past 6 months. I would like to hear your guys' feedback on what you want me to do to improve. That is also the reason why I am doing another survey on May 1st, so I'm going to promote that ahead of time so you all can check that out when I do put the link in the description below this video. Because the more responses we get out of that, it is going to be very important, because I do want to improve the YouTube channel, improve my production and my layout of my videos, but I could only do that with your guys' feedback. So that will be provided on May 1st for a YouTube channel survey. All right, but anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with another detailed weather forecast.